सान्द्रानन्दावबोधात्मकमनुपमितं कालदेशावदिभ्या निर्मुक्तं नित्यमुक्तं निगमशतसहस्रेण निर्भास्यमानम् अस्पष्टं दृष्टमात्रे पुनः उरुपुरुषार्थात्मकं ब्रह्मतत्त्वं तत्तावत् भाति साक्षात् गुरुपवनपुरे हन्त भाग्यं जनानाम् अग्रे पश्यामि तेजो निबिडतरकला यावली लोभनीयं पीयूषाप्लावितोऽहं तदुतरे दिव्यकैशोरवेशं तारुण्यारम्भरम्यं परमसुखरसास्वाद रोमाञ्चिताङ्गैः आवीतं नारदाद्यैः विलसदुपनिषत् सुन्दरी मण्डलैश्च.
Gurupavanapure Hantabhagyam Jananam. Namaskaram to all the Astikas. It has been a great journey to describe Bhattatri's devotion to Bhagavatam, thereby in Narayaneeyam, and finally to Krishna. In the last Dashakam, Bhattatri sees that Vishwarupam, and as he sees, he describes. This is the Dashakam called Keshadipada Varnanam. That's why he begins with the magical words Agre Pashyami Tejo Nibidatarakala. As he describes Bhagavan's face, eyes, nose, teeth, neck, chest, slender abdomen, nabhi, thighs, knees, he further continues describing where he says, Manjiram Manjunadairiva Padabhajanam Shreya Ityalapantam Padagram Bhrantimajjat Pranata Janamano Mandarodhara Kurmam Uttungatamra Rajan Nakhara Himakara Jyotsnaya Chashrutanam Santapadhvantahantrim Tadimanukalaye Mangalam Angulinam Aham Anukalaye Manjiram. I meditate on your anklets which Manjunadaihi Alapantam Iva. Those twinkling sounds which seem as though Shreyaha Pada Bhajanam Iti. They appear as if they are extolling the excellence of worshipping your feet. Pada Bhajanam Iti Shreyaha. They say, oh, worshipping your Bhagavan's feet is so great. You seem to be describing that. Padagram. I meditate on the top of that feet. Top of your feet. Bhranti Majjat. Pranata Janamano Mandarodhara Kurmam. It looks as if like a tortoise that is going to uplift the Mandara Parvata. In Kurma Avatara, Bhagavan as Kurma lifted the Mandara. Here, those feet appear like Kurma that is uplifting the heavy minds of devotees. So there, Bhagavan as Kurma lifted the Mandara. Here, Bhagavan's feet seem to be uplifting the minds of the devotees. So he says, Mandarodhara Kurmam, Mangalam, Angulinam Tatim Cha. And on those rows of those auspicious toes, Uttungatamra Rajat Nakha Himakarar Jyotsnaya. There are crimson moon-shaped nails. So those nails he describes in the feet, which are crimson moon-shaped, again like crescent moon, with that little redness. Uttungatamra Rajat Nakhara Himakara Jyotsnaya. Who's soft like brilliance. They are extremely brilliant. Santapadhvanta hantrim dispels the darkness associated with the form of afflictions. Whatever tapam we have got, it seems to remove that santapadhvanta hantrim. So look at those feet. The feet can remove all our afflictions. The nails seem to be extremely healthy with that radiance, and there is a moon a description which is given. There is a redness which is attached. Those feet are capable of lifting the minds of the devotees, like how Kurma did that to Mandara Parvatam. Ashrutana. Therefore, I take refuge in you. So, after all these reasonings, Bhattatri says that's why it is worthy of seeking refuge in you. Then Bhattatri says, Yogindranam twadangeshwadhika sumadhuram muktibhajam nivaso bhaktanam kamavarshadhyutaruki salayam nathade padamulam nityam chittassthitam me pavanapurapate Krishna karunya sindho Hrutva niseshatapan pradishatu paramananda sandoha lakshmin Natha te padamulam. Hey Natha, the Swami of all, te padamulam in your feet, in the soles of your pair of feet. Yogindranam. So we have seen over the feet, he is able to lift the minds of the devotees. Below that feet, te padamulam. Yogindranam, there are eminent yogis who are sitting. Adhika sumadhuram tvat angeshu, sweetest of all parts of your body. So, because that feet represents that sweetness, nivasaha muktibhajam, and the abode of seeking that salvation, moksham, kamavarshadyutaruki salayam bhaktanam cha bhavati, the tender sprout of that kalpaka tree. What does Kalpaka tree in the backyard of Indra do? Whatever we ask, it will give. Wish shielding tree. So, Kamavarshadhyutaruki Salayam Bhaktanam, for Bhaktas. They don't have to go to Kalpaka Vriksham, which is in the backyard of Indra. Bhagavan's feet is the Kalpaka Vriksham. So, that grants legitimately whatever the devotees ask for. Hey Pavanapurapate, hey Krishna of Guruvayur, hey Krishna, Karunya Sindho, you are the ocean of mercy. Tat nityam chittassthitam me. Therefore, this Krishna whose Swarupa I have described, Rupa I have described, the similes and the metaphors with which I have described, the upliftment of devotees that happened, all of that, He Karunya Sindho, the very ocean of compassion, tat nityam chittassthitam me, that form should stay within my chitta. Hritva nisesha tapan, and destroy all my miseries. Pradishatu, may it bestow on me. Paramananda sandoha lakshmi, supreme bliss and auspiciousness in abundance, may it bestow on me. Then he says, Ajñatva te mahatvam yadiha nigaditam vishwanatha kshametha stotraschaitat sahastrottaram tvat prasadaya bhuyat vedha narayaniyam shrutishu cha janusha stutyata varnanena sphitam leelavatarayiridamiha kurutam ayurarogya saukhyam. Hey Vishwanatha, O Lord of all worlds, you are the Lord of all worlds. Tat kshamethaha. Please do forgive me for that. Tat kshamethaha. Yat nigaditam iha. While composing this work of 1034 plus verses, whatever I have composed, yat nigaditam iha, in the form of utterance, if I have made ajñatvade mahatvam, if I made mistakes, why could that have happened? Because I would have not understood your glory. It is not possible to understand your glory in the fullest. I would have surely not done it. So there could have been mistakes. So forgive me for that. Etat stotram sahastrottaram. What is this composition? This composition that I have done is over 1000 verses. So he himself suggests, Etat stotram sahastrottaram. It is over 1000. Bhuyat cha. It also becomes adhikataram tvat prasadaya. Just because I've written 1000 verses, it doesn't become great. Because it is on you, it becomes great. Whether it is 1 verse, 50 verse, 100 verses, 500 verses, or 1000 verses, or 1 lakh verses. If it is on you, it becomes great. Adhikataram tvat prasadaya. Because whatever I've written is because of the prasadam, that anukampa, that grace that you have given Krishna. Idam Narayaneeyam. So he has given the name Narayaneeyam to this work within Narayaneeyam. It was not renamed by somebody else later. He himself says, Idam Narayaneyam. It is called Narayaneyam. Some people say, why? Because the composer, he who has written is Narayana Bhattatri. That could not be the reason. Because such a great devotee of Narayana would not call a work based on his name. He says, this work is about Narayana. It is about Paramatma. So he calls it Idam Narayaneyam, because there is one Narayaneyam that appears within Mahabharata. This is the Narayaneyam written as a Kavyam, Bhakti Kavyam by Bhattatri 450-500 years back. Idam Narayaneyam Dvedha. Dvedha. Either it could be describing Narayana Parama. The one who has written on Narayana is Narayana Bhattatri. Generally, the former reason is accepted. He says Dvedha. Sthitam stutyata varnanena, full of, replete with descriptions that fully praise you. Leelaavataraihi, by the, and of all, what is the center point of Krishna? There are other avatars. There is Rama, there is Narasimha, Vamana, all of that is there. But Krishna avatar is the main. Leela avataraihi, Janusha Shrutishu cha. Now, whatever was told in the scriptures was only revealed. There is nothing that I have written on my own. Everything has a reference in our Shrutis and Smritis. Kurutam Ayurarogya Saukhyam. Whoever recites this, Kurutam, what will they get? We have to give. See, as a poet, he has to also ensure that there is goodwill in the society. Kurutam, whoever reads this, Ayur Arogya Saukhyam, you will have long life and good health, because both of these are required. You have very good health, you die early. You have a long life, but you keep suffering from some ailments. Both are wrong. So there should be good health and long life. Ayur Arogya Saukhyam Iha. In this world, they will get very, surely this work, when rejoiced and benefited, will give you the upper worlds. It will give you Vaikuntham. But in this Ihalokam also, it will give you good health and long life, says Bhattatri. Now, there is a point here. He had prayed for good health. He was cured in the 98th Dashakam. Now he says Ayura Arogya Saukhyam. Since Bhattatri is said to have belonged to a secret school of mathematics called Sangamagrama, of which even his own Acharya Achyuta Pisharoti was a part, so they were great mathematicians too, besides being poets. So in Samskrita Bhasha, you have Katapayadi Sankhya. Ka, kha, ga, ga, nga, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cha, cha, ja, ja, nya, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. Tata da dhana 1 2 3 4 5. Tata da dhana 6 7 8 9 0. Yara lava shasha saha 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So these are all the aksharas based on which units place, tens place, hundreds place you calculate. So Ayurarogya Saukhyam. He says, right, good life, long life, good health. Based on that, if we calculate, giving the Katapayadi Sankhya, we arrive, the author says, we arrive at a number called 17 lakh 12,210. This is the day of Kali Yuga, he wrote, which when we, because we assigned to about 3102 BCE of Kali Yuga's birth. So when we calculate from that, this author, Bhaktaranjani's author, says it coincides with the 7th December 1587. That happens to be the Guruvayur Ekadashi, the Kaishika Ekadashi of that year. So Bhattatri says, I have concluded this work, Narayaneyam, 1 Dashakam a day, the 100th Dashakam on the day of Guruvayur Ekadashi, which falls on 7th December 1587. So besides being a great Bhakta, besides being a Sanskrit grammarian expert, besides being a great poet, besides being a very acclaimed personality, he was also a mathematician. So he has coupled Ayura Arogya Saukhyam with the date on which he has completed. You know, generally artists who paint, they will put their signature and write the date when they have completed that painting. Similarly, as a poet, he has done, which coincides with 7th December 1587. This commentator says so. So this work called Narayaneeyam is a beautiful work. Throughout the world, there are immense devotees who know this work by heart. I was inspired greatly in my childhood days by listening to the cassettes of audio cassettes of Sengalipuram Sri Anantarama Dikshita, who was a great scholar. He was called Upanyasa Chakravarti. Then I was inspired by Brahmashri Sri Sundar Kumar Anna, who has been a great Manasika guru for me in terms of Upanyasa. So there are people who have always made me fall in love with Sri Guruvayurappan and Sriman Narayaneyam. It happened so that our trust made a mammoth dance production called Agre Pashyami, with the choreographer as Anita Guha, Rajkumar Bharti ji as the sound, the music composer, Sai Shravanam as a soundscape engineer, and it conducted over 50 plus shows across the world, different metros, different audience, houseful audiences. Why? Because there is an Akarshana Shakti to Narayaneeyam, Bhattatri's devotion, and Guruvayurappa. With that intent, with the help of so many sponsors that you see in all our videos, we were able to achieve this purpose of Narayaneeyam. And this Narayaneeyam was shot over a long period, and it could have gone for longer days. It could have taken many more episodes. We could have gone much more in detail. But we had to condense that as 15-minute episodes, taking the concerns of especially the group of school going, college going, university going, just married, working, traveling professionals. So it was made for 15 minutes. I've spoken much more in detail. So I would have spoken for at least, I don't know, like 170 to 180 hours of content of the Narayaneeyam, entire Narayaneeyam in the Tamil language, which is my Matra Bhasha. I've done it over a span of about 5 to 6 years between 2017 to about 2022. And that came through television channels, YouTube channels, Facebook, and other social media. Here, we chose English because there were people outside the Tamil community, the Malayalam speaking, the Telugu speaking, the Kannada speaking, the Konkani Tulu speaking, Bengali Odia speaking, Marathi Gujarati speaking, Hindi speaking communities who said, we need to understand Narayaneeyam. Why don't you come up with a series in the English language? So we came up with a series. So one, we had to choose the language, which is English, which others wanted. We had to choose the timings, which has to be less than 15 minutes. So, and then we needed sponsors because they have to help us in the process, because such large projects consume a lot of energy, money, and resources. So we had sponsors coming and saying that we need to support culture. And all through the series, we had our editor and the cameraman called as Jnana Chandra, who has been a part of the journey. And so we have covered over 245 episodes, if I'm right, which is a big task. And I'm extremely thankful to Sri Shankara TV for finding it fit to be played to the global audience. So we have a global audience watching this across social media and TV screens. So thanks to all of you, with the grace of Guruvayurappan, of Sri Narayana Bhattatri, of Narayaneeyam, we have concluded this Dashakam, because he says, Ayurarogya Saukhyam, long life, good health. And we are all blessed. So with this, I conclude Sriman Narayaneeyam. Kalyana Rupaya Kalau Jananam Kalyana Datre Karuna Sudhabde Kamvadi Divyayuda Satkaraya Vatalayadhisha Namo Namaste. Namaskar.
कल्याणरूपाय कलौ जनानां कल्याणदात्रे करुणासुधाब्दे कंवादिदिव्यायुधसत्कराय वातालयाधीश नमो नमस्ते. नारायण 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 नारायण